Welcome to Tafe, New South Wales, Western Sydney region floristry. My name is David Berger and today I'm going to design a Christmas vase. This is a vase suitable for the festive period. It could either be in the home or an office environment. And what I've started off with a rectangular vase, and I want to place some baubles under the water. So a little tip with doing this is, of course, the baubles are normally made of plastic and very buoyant, so they're going to float right up to the top of the vase. So a little trick to help keep them submerged is just to fill them actually with water. So once they're filled with water, they will no longer float in the water. They will keep submerged, and I can just add 2 or 3 baubles into the vase to bring colour right down into the base of the vase and create a little bit of interest. What I'm going to do is dress the vase a little bit with some speargrass. So this is a very nice flat speargrass. So it has a little bit of a different texture to it than the normal rounded speargrass. This is a flat type one. And what the baubles will also do is help us wedge any of the materials into the vase in between the different placements in the baubles. So I can use those to help wedge some of the grass into the vase and create some different lines almost immediately just by cutting the grass into different levels, different lengths, using the baubles as a little bit of a wedge and placing the grass down in between them. So this is going to help separate the little different groups of the grass that I want to place into the vase, and I can slide them between each other, even cross the lines slightly to add a little bit more interest within the vase. If I need to, I can slightly tilt or turn the baubles until I have a little bit of a background, and just with the simple placement of a few stems of the grass into the vase, I'm already starting to create quite an interesting base for the arrangement. So for this particular arrangement, I'm going to use some of the beautiful spider orchids, which are a gorgeous flower, especially for the office environment, because they're a very nice long-lasting flower. You can keep them hydrated by spraying the flowers with some tepid water. You can soak the flower completely under the surface of water for 5 minutes or so. Just remember, when you're soaking orchids, they're a tropical flower, so they've grown in a very warm climate. So when you're soaking the blooms, the best idea is to fill a container with tepid water. Think of the same sort of temperature water, lukewarm water that you might use for a baby's formula. And you don't want to place them in cold water, because the cold water can actually shock the flower and make some of the florets of the orchids drop off. You do want to put them in some tepid water, which is more in line with where they grow, and then that will keep them nice and hydrated, and you will find that the flowers will last really well then. I've just placed a couple of stems into this vase, and already you can see it's opening up with a nice look to it. So as I said, this would be very suitable for a corporate client. So you don't want to, sometimes you don't have the budget to put a lot of flowers into these sorts of arrangements, but you want to put some very nice special or high quality materials that will last really well and also create quite a feature. So I have the turtle leaf here, which is a really beautiful foliage, but I'm going to make a feature of it because it is a foliage that is quite expensive to buy, and we want to use it as a flower form or a form as well in our arrangements. When we have a very beautiful foliage like these leaves, we want to use it pretty much the same as we think about a feature flower in the arrangement. We really want to feature it. I don't want to cover up all the beautiful baubles that are down in the base of the arrangement, so I've left the leaf a little bit longer. The other thing that I don't want to do with the leaf is pierce the surface of the leaf, because this leaf, the veins in the leaf run all the way along the leaf, so much like a spider web. So if I pierce the surface of this leaf, it's not going to be able to drink in quite a large area of the leaf, and it's going to start to brown off quite quickly. So what I'm very carefully doing is placing the green trips as a little feature up in the leaf, but I've used the indentation within the base of the leaf to place the material. So I'm not actually piercing it through the leaf. I'm going to do another little addition to this. And the addition that I'm going to do is, this time I've got some of the baubles and I've placed them on a spun wire, and I'll show you how we do that in a moment. But again, I'm going to be able to cut these to any length that I want to, and I'm going to be able to put these into the arrangement to bring some colour and some texture up into the arrangement, and use them just like I would a flower form. So whenever we use an accessory in an arrangement, whether it be for a festive arrangement or any sort of decorative feature, we want to think of the use of the decorative element very much like we would use a flower form. These are a round, spherical form which take the place of a flower form in the design. So that's exactly how we want to use them, and we want to make sure that we make a nice feature of them, that we can see them in the arrangement, that I'm using them just like I would a flower form, and putting them into the arrangement to take the place of some flowers. So as you've seen, this really just has the two orchids, the two stems of Trix carnation, and the two turtle leaves. So it's lots of twos in this particular one. Remember, anything more than two is a group, and two of something is a statement. And that's exactly what we want to make in this particular arrangement. We want to make a statement or a feature of the additional or the very special materials. So I've placed those all very deliberately in the twos. And then I've just created a nice feature in the arrangement with the baubles to give a little bit of a statement. And just at the base of the vase, I've got a little bit of the incense bush, which I've taken the foliage off, so I can place that down into the vase just to make sure that it's nicely in the water source, because it's quite a thirsty type of flower that will need the water to keep it nice and full. You can see I've just placed a little bit. There's no real back and front to this vase. Remember, if we're doing this for the office environment, I always like to put some interest at the back of, or what would be face the back of the vase, because remember, that's what the receptionist will be looking at the whole time of the corporate life of the flowers. And if there's some interest in the back of the vase, then they've got something to look at as well as the clients from the front of the vase. So I've just placed a little bit of the incense bush at the front of the vase as well, still not covering those beautiful baubles which have made such a feature in the vase. But there we have, either for the home, in front of a mirror would be really good where you had the reflection, or as I said, at a reception, all the way around the vase there's different features with the baubles, the speargrass and the orchids. quite light on material, but a real feature over the festive period for the home or office environment.